I'm so pleased to welcome you to Interpretations 10, Art and Music Through a Humanities Lens. Say that humanities is the study of what it is to be human, and it's a collection of disciplines. For example, philosophy and history and art and music, but it's not about the techniques, it's about the context of creativity.
I'm going to start with Susie Blackwell's The Best Is Yet to Come, the large cloud painting here. It's somewhat abstract landscape, but cloud studies have a long history. Cloud studies go back to the 17th century Dutch art, which were sometimes called skyscapes because there was so much sky in them. These are times not only of colorful clouds, but of the passing of time. And I think time has changed. Sometimes when we look at a painting, we forget that time is also part of the narrative, as it is here. Even though they're visual, they take up space, they can communicate time, just as music is temporal as well.
This piece of work is interesting because it has this little motif, all in the first part. Da 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 dee da, and it's everywhere in the first part, just everywhere. But underneath it are sustained. So the music kind of reflects this contemplative looking up at the clouds.
Going west is a loaded phrase. There's the history of going west, the westward push in the United States, a mixed bag, and it's also a metaphor for death. But it's not working that way here. It's really a turning point in her life and a hope for a better future and renewed happiness. She combines realism, but she skews the realism with color, perspective, and narrative, all of which are at work here.
You're sort of seeing and playing, but so the music does that. It's free. It's freely moving. And you know, if you've ever looked at birds and saw them doing that, playing with each other, swooping around, you think, oh, I wish I could move like that. Because it's just free. They're soaring. They're swooping. They're going around. And the music reflects that. So I think it's very good.
The next work I want to talk about is Sharon Hurley's Solitude, this small work over here on the left. But this is a very special park. This park has a history reflected in the rocks and the ancient trees, some of which are over 150 years old. The tree itself was named by Mormon settlers who, because they saw the outstretched branches as resembling to them the Old Testament prophet Joshua, who raised his hands in prayer. The Joshua tree is also important in Native American culture as food, medicine, and fibers for sandals, baskets, clothing, and ritual ceremonies.
Is that when you're in nature, you tend to, if you're quiet, you tend to hear things you didn't hear before. Different voices, different sounds, and you start picking up little things.
Solitude can be very positive or it can be negative. People, in a positive perception of solitude, will take it as a time to reflect, a time to be aware of their surroundings, meditate. It can be negative in the fact is as we age, you lose friends, family members, you can become lonely and depressed. I prefer to take it in a positive fashion.
Okay, and last painting we're going to talk about is the one over there on the right, J.D. Narain's Titus. As you paint, things come to you. You make changes. Something speaks to you on the canvas, or it tells you yes or no, whatever you decide. What's extraordinary about this is even though it's an abstract head, it conveys a certain feeling and emotion. It communicates.
My painting is a story of redemption, and they picked the perfect tune because that's the theme of Les Mis. So thank you so very much.
And I would like to ask our artists to stand up one more time, and our wonderful scholars from the humanities, and thank you all for your contributions.